idea of being the change was a very, very important story. And I think Design for Change emerged from that fundamental belief that children could be the change. Children are not the future, they are the today. And today they have all the ingredients to make the world a better place. So I think Design for Change shifted the whole idea from telling children to listening to them. And then saying that if something bothers you, it's important for us. And then we'd say, if it's bothered you, you have the skills to even change it. You can go with your friends, you can take help from your teachers, you can look at experts, you can get inspired. Now we're in the 8th year, okay, and we have received over more than 20,000 stories of change from around the world, of children as young as 5 and as old as 14. We don't have to be rich or strong or powerful to make change happen. We can do that today. We're teaching a curriculum about children's change stories and how they can help direct the next round of learning. What we started seeing is that when children were doing acts of change and of issues that bothered them, not issues that bothered the adults. Most often than not in education, the adults are giving children either a content that they must learn or issues they must be concerned about. Global warming, poverty, child abuse, they have this, they rote learn these ideas and then they're just telling it. And when you ask them, let me show you a little story about Yogesh from a little village school in India. And the one thing that bothered him was his friend who had polio and couldn't come to school. One little boy in a government school in Tamil Nadu, whose father couldn't swim, but he was a fisherman. That bothered him. Then you talk about this lovely story about this friend all the way from Taiwan, who realized that his friend who was visually impaired didn't have many friends. And you say, this is what they did. And then you find children, when they hear these stories, they look at you and say, I can say that? And you say, beta, you can say anything that bothers you. Things like time management, and they learn things like roles and responsibilities. They learn things like how to get money. All the skills that we anyway want to teach our children, right? They learn all of that. And then when they tell that final story, children look at it and say, oh my God, I can do that too. So when you see this bank of stories in the story curriculum, every teacher will find a connect, because these are real stories. These are no longer stories of, say, Maharana Pratap or maybe Nelson Mandela or, the Dalai Lama. These are stories of Yogesh and Anita and Juan. Stories of real children making the world a better place. And suddenly you don't have to push children into learning. You have to just go along with them. And I think that's what every teacher wants to do. Help children say, you are not the future, you are the now. And today, you can be inspired and you can be inspiring. Anytime they're wondering, how can I get my children engaged? Come to the story curriculum. You want a wonderful project to teach math? Come to the story curriculum. You want to teach problem solving skills? Come to the story curriculum. The lesson plans are so beautiful and so simple. It is, like I said, it's going to be your greatest ally. A lot of the adults were telling us, we didn't know that children had so much in them. That's really what we keep hearing time and again. It's starting from a space about a child somewhere in the world who's been bothered and then has gone around figuring out imagination and possibilities and creative thinking, then looking at problem solving and time management and resilience, and then doing storytelling. Every step, the skills of the 21st century are embedded. All of these ideas that otherwise they don't necessarily get opportunities to do when you're learning, say, geography or history or math. There is character being built, the idea that you don't give up, you listen, you engage, you innovate, you improvise. All of these are the children will encounter. When you know something works in one place, you must shamelessly and abundantly share. In that sharing, children get that creative confidence. any school that is attempting to educate children would like to educate for the heart and the head. The Indian boards, if you see, have a specific time for what is called socially useful productive work, or the IB curriculum has CAS. So every school in their own way set aside time for children to be mindful, to be able to look at citizenship, to become a global citizen. In that time, a lot of schools have chosen to do design for change a story curriculum rather than read a theoretical book on values. And the questions that you will find in the story curriculum are prompts of how to start thinking through. Then there could be a written exercise out of it. You know, when they want to do project-based learning or they want to do transdisciplinary learning, a lot of schools have used story curriculum for projects. So it starts by being inspired, but then they use the idea to try their own version. In fact, there was one school who used the story curriculum for their after-school classes. We've had parents using the story curriculum as birthday projects. So we feel that the story curriculum is a teacher's best friend. We are delighted to share this with the whole world today. We would love when teachers do and use this, we would love for teachers to send back their stories for inspiration. For all the teachers out there, for all the parents out there, for all the children out there, feel free to come here, be inspired and believe that yes, I can are the two most powerful words that we can give any child.